who now joins in to talk about the numbers. Mr. Goenka, hi. Thank you very much for joining this afternoon to talk about your numbers. But before we just get to the Q3 performance, the street is anticipating or awaiting more details on a likely restructuring that the company might be considering at this point in time, considering that you have so many interests in various businesses. Can you start by giving us an update on where that plan stands?
Well, I think various things are being examined. Nothing has come to the board yet, but I think there are consultants who are reviewing this whole unbundling exercise, and hopefully they will present it to the board shortly. But no, the board did not consider it today.
Mr. Goenka, how probable is a three-way demerger? One, you focus on your distribution business, secondly on generation, and thirdly, there will be an entity which houses the rest of the business, like Firstsource and Spencer. So a three-way demerger, if you could tell us how probable it is in terms of one of the options for restructuring.
Do you expect me to comment on something like this? But all I can say is that if you have very good consultants, I'm sure whatever they recommend would be sensible and in the best interest of all the stakeholders of the company. But it would be inappropriate for me to say anything more at this stage. But yes, it is something that our advisors are evaluating and would come back to us shortly. And then the board will consider it, and we will brief you appropriately.
Fair enough. Mr. Goenka, let's talk about this quarter's numbers then. Just wanted to focus on the margins. You had another expense which was higher by around 23%. Any sort of one-offs this quarter in terms of the numbers, and what might your guidance as well be in terms of your margin projection for the rest of the year?
I think for the year as a whole, we would be slightly better, slightly ahead of the year last year, I think. It would be pretty much, you've seen this a very similar trend through the 3 quarters. This quarter numbers have been recast for Indian accounting standards. So when you will see the full year results, that will be recast completely as per Indian accounting standards. So there may be some differences because of that. But fundamentally, power is also coming in from our sister unit at Haldia, which comes in as a purchase. And so that will come in as an expense as opposed to own generation.
So how has the Spencer's business performed? It's been operationally in the black, for the last 2 quarters, but on an annual basis, when do you think it will be profitable? And any plans of an IPO for the Spencer's business now that profitability is improving?
Well, I think Spencer's is ripe for listing for sure. It's absolutely ripe for listing. And I think we've had 6 months of continuous and consistent corporate level EBITDA positive, and I think we are now set. I think the company's last quarter we had revenues of 1,740 rupees a square foot, which was way higher than we've ever had, and way higher than the industry best. So I think it's getting its act together. Spencer's launches its new apparel section, and apparel, as you know, contributes much higher margins than food. It launches next week, and so that should add margins. So we are very optimistic about the performance of Spencer's as we go forward. One other update I'd like to share with you on power is that we have signed another 185 megawatts, actually a PPA for another 185 megawatts from our unit at Chandrapur. So that takes the total contracted amount to about, it was first 170, then it was 100, and now another 185. So, what is left is just about 90 megawatts now.
Okay. So, what are the plans with Firstsource? would you be looking to monetize your stake in any way? Could we get a strategic investor or something more which could be on the cards?
Well, I think FirstSource is doing exceedingly well, and I had shared with all of you the contract that we got with Sky, where they consolidated all the vendors and we were a single point consolidation. And it means that we will add 1,200 FTEs in UK. It's a huge, big contract. It's something that we are very excited about. It's something that we believe will contribute significantly to the bottom lines and top lines for FirstSource as we go forward. So again, I'm fairly optimistic about the performance of FirstSource. I do believe that the company has great potential, and we are always looking CESC, FirstSource, Spencer's, Philips Carbon, Saregama, all our companies. We always have a very strong attempt to try and increase shareholder value and give the best return to all our shareholders.
Okay, FirstSource has been one of the better performing IT stocks in the last 1 year with a rally of nearly about 40%. Mr. Goenka, unfortunately, we've run out of time. We'd love to chat with you some other time. Thanks again for joining in. So that's the word coming in from CESC. They do indicate that consultants have been appointed where they will review the company's various interests. They will look at a restructuring and then eventually present the plan to the board. This is something CNBC TV 18 has also been talking about, consultants reviewing their restructuring exercise, and will present to the board very soon. Slip into a very short break. On the other side, we'll continue our focus on the market.